see how you did. Okay, so go back to page 182. It says use the following diagram to answer the questions below. What's the measure of angle M? You would have to, right? You would have to realize that this is an isosceles triangle. So since these two sides have the same markings, you can conclude two things. That this is also 15 and that it will also be 60. Okay? At the very least, it's an isosceles. We're probably going to find out more. Okay? So it's 60 degrees. Angle M is 60 degrees. That's it. Right? Then it says classify M and P by angle measure and side length. Angle measure. We still have to find the third angle. Sorry, what did I just say? M is... How did I come up with M being 60 is because these two are 60. So let's do the math here. I kind of jumped the gun on that one. 180 minus 2 times 60. And so that's how I found that M is 60. Classify M and P by angle measure and side length. Well, now I know that this is 60. So this is just equilateral. You can say acute, but this is not needed. Okay. Use the following diagram to answer the questions below. Okay. What's the length of PR? So from P to R, what is that? Well, you should recognize that this is 8, right? 8 meters here. So 8 and 8. We can easily find that using Pythagoras. Use the Pythagorean theorem because it's a right triangle. Okay? So to find PR, right, we're going to take 8 squared plus 8 squared. PR is equal to square root of 128. PR is equal to 11.31. You've answered that question just by using the Pythagorean theorem. Classify PQR by angle measure and side length. So this is where it gets tricky. PQR, it's the big one on the outside. Don't mind this, okay? So PQR by angle measure, we know it's a right. It's right, and side length, it's got two that are the same, so it's isosceles. There. That's on the next page here. There's a C part. Classify at the top here. Classify QRS by side length. I will do that here. I will just stay here. Okay. QRS. What is the classification for it? So QRS is this one right here. We know a couple of things. We know that this is 8 meters. This is S, this is Q, this is R. I'm cutting it out. We know that this is 90 because there's a 90 right beside it. Okay, so this would be a right. We know that fact. And what do we know about this triangle before we cut it out? We actually knew something else. If this is 8 and this is 8, then we know that the angles across are equal. Okay, so just do the math. If this is 90 and you split the remaining 90 between these two, you know that these are both 45. So we know that this is 45. Okay, therefore, just think about it. This must be 45 also. Okay, because the only way to make this add up to 180 is for these two to be 45. Okay, So this is a right isosceles as well. Okay. In fact, I can tell you a little secret. If you have a right isosceles like this, if it's a right and you split that in half, right, you will also have a right isosceles here. And you can keep splitting this in half, right? You will keep on having right isosceles triangles even as you get smaller, okay? 6. On page 183, equilateral triangle XYZ has a perimeter of 90. What is the area? So here, to get the area, you need the height. You need the height. Okay, so let's cut this out. If you cut, this is an equilateral, by the way. If you cut it in half, you guarantee this is 15. So this is your height. This is 15 because it's a symmetric shape, and this is 30. So we can easily find h. That's one of the legs, right? It's going to be 30 squared minus 15 squared. H is going to be square root of 675. H is going to be 25.98. I'm going to go 4 decimals, 08 centimeters. The area now is base of the whole triangle, which is 30 times 25.9808 divided by 2. And that is 389.71 centimeters squared. So really it had very little to do with what we're doing here. And I'm just gonna do this last one and then we'll continue tomorrow, okay? This is an asymmetrical roof. There's symmetrical where you split it in exactly 2 same halves, but this is asymmetrical, okay? That means that this is longer than the other side, right? You know what? We'll just leave it here. We'll continue tomorrow. All right, you can log off, and tomorrow we'll do an AC on the classifying, okay?